Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Mav here. Today I wanted to go over games like The Sims and why I think they should be quaking in their boots. They probably won't be. They're The Sims. They're the longest running franchise in the life simulator games, but there are some ones coming out that could really take over. So I'll be showing you 4 games and going over why each game could potentially dethrone The Sims or what sets them apart. Now, first up we have Life by You, which is pretty much exactly what people want from The Sims, but just in a different game, and is the closest that I've found that I can get to a Sims game. It's being developed by Paradox Tectonic, who have got no history in game development, which can be scary as they have no background working together as a team. However, we have a bunch of information and trailers about the game, so it does exist. We're not getting the day before anytime soon. To give you a brief rundown, Life by You takes a look at The Sims, but focuses more on world building and storytelling options. So that alongside a powerful modding scene, which always scares me as people can be a bit weird. Unlike The Sims, you look after individual households. So Life by You has you designing and looking after entire towns. So Sims, households, Life by You, entire towns, from environments to neighborhoods, and the characters that you have placed in the world you have built. Now, in terms of storytelling, this is going to be quite a difficult one because the entire idea and premise is all subjective. It's all what you deem as the story in your world, right? So to me, I like building my own house that I have in real life and building it in The Sims, which for some reason that's what I do, that's what I enjoy doing, but other people like to go a bit crazy with it. But storytelling, this game allows you to take complete control of the narrative. So that means writing dialogue whilst creating unique stories for each character, directly influencing the course of their lives, which is one of the main differences from The Sims. However, Watch Sims 5 get released a week after this video goes out, and it has all of this information and a ton more. EA have a really good way of kind of knowing their audience really well, and I feel like Sims always seems to just hold the throne. So maybe we'll have one that can dethrone it, and Life by You might be that one. I also mentioned that mods is a huge part of Life by You, and it's boasting a huge variety of creation tools, and they've dubbed it as one of the most, if not the most, moddable life simulators to exist. Now, you can do things like design clothing, furniture, or new gameplay mechanics. It's hard to believe what is actually possible with this, and my tiny brain can barely play a shooter game, so I have no idea what to expect when it comes to the modding tools from this, but I can assume, knowing people, it can get very weird very quickly. Now, lastly, a great thing about Life by You is that the developers are actively looking for player feedback and ideas, and it's refreshing to see this, as a lot of game companies don't actually do this. Now, let's go over the similarities to Sims. Of course, it is a life simulator, so it's very similar to Sims. So things like, managing needs, building homes, and pursuing careers are all in the same genre, so you'll find that in Life by You. So you'll find it very easy and very comfortable to just move over. Life by You was scheduled to be out next month in June, but has now been postponed as of last week with no new release date. So a little bit scary, kind of panicking, not too sure what to think about that. But I just want to take a quick brief moment to mention my other content. If you're enjoying this video, then dropping a little like will really help. A lot of this content style that I'm doing at the minute is new to me, so any feedback would be really good. If you want to stay up to date with any new games, I create content on TikTok or Instagram that showcases a new game each day, and I also stream on Twitch, all under the Mavitivo name. I never know when to promote my other stuff, so if you're interested, head over there. Anyway, on to our next game. It's called Paralives, and one thing that stands out the most is the freeform building mechanics. Now, I liked The Sims, but I felt the building to be a bit rigid, and that's what Paralives does differently. You can use tools to build layouts that you actually want to build, and you're not limited by the engine. Now, the thing that stood out to me is how good the tools were to engage with different people, and how your character actually feels generally alive. In the video they put out, you can customize everything about the character. So things like body type, height, and then take it into a job setting. So for example, a barista. During the downtime, you can visit parks, workplaces, and even join a gym. When it comes to the similarities and what sets Paralives apart from The Sims, it's not a great deal. Apart from the lovely art style it has, it feels very aesthetically pleasing. But as I said earlier, the key difference is throwing away the grid system that The Sims has. So you can literally build whatever you want in whatever whatever style you want, which I quite enjoy. I feel like The Sims is quite limited, but I understand why it's limited, don't get me wrong. It does, however, just gives it more of a breathing space to The Sims as well. But in terms of the differences, back to the similarities, there's a lot to cover when it comes to kind of life simulator games. Is the neighborhood. It's a proper connected neighborhood, so it allows you to have a little bit more control, a little bit more fun activities. So for example, in the game, the character, they meet someone at a gym class, and then they become friends, and they go to the barista house together. It's a really nice little vibe, but it's also boosting to have more depth in the character creation, which looks to be true from looking at what they've put out. But of course, it will depend what the final product looks like. Again, we have no release date on Paralives just yet, which is a bit of a shame, but we shall see. Next up on the list is Inzoi, which is being developed by Crafton, which is the team behind PUBG Battlegrounds and Dark and Darker. Now, I get it. Two very weird games. PUBG, one of the most commercial successful games in the world, and Dark and Darker, which stole the content creators and like my community's hearts because of how good it was. So I've got some good hopes behind this, but it's very clear from just looking at the game that Inzoi is going for a more photorealistic version. It's being built on Unreal Engine 5, so it looks incredible. This is probably one of the more standout games. You can directly influence the world, whether that be the weather, the crime rate in the environments. If the city has a large crime rate, all of the characters in the world will generally be more sad and deal with problems differently. Relationships will be harder, and maintaining friendships require more work. And as the god of this world, you can schedule these events. So you can schedule a storm coming, you can schedule a bank robbery, I assume. So very excited for that. Inzoi has the general Sims tropes as well. So, designing characters, but to an extreme level, building huge open world environments alongside houses and towns. They also touch on the idea that interactions between characters will help you change the world around you, maybe having a bit more of a serious approach. What I enjoyed was seeing the characters drive around. We don't get to see this generally in The Sims, so this is a very nice touch. The developers also noted The Sims with its career and aspiration system, but they want to make the gameplay more open-ended and have you more in control of what's going on in the world and kind of how Inzoi unfolds. Now, Inzoi is currently slated for a 2024 release, but looking at the footage, I would be very surprised if it comes out 2024 and not 2025. Now, next up we have Tiny Life, developed by LPEC Games, who, by the looks of it, is run by just one person. Now, this is the most charming one. It is already out, so you can try it now. It looks really cozy and really wholesome, but let's just go over a few things about it. You manage a full house, whether family or friends living under one roof. Each character will have their own quirks and goals, which of course makes it a bit more dynamic and a bit more fun rather than just controlling one person, for example. One thing I like about Tiny Life is it feels a bit more fun. It feels a little bit more comical. It feels a little bit more cozy, but it's using an isometric pixel art style, so it ticks the box of cozy and different anyway. It has over 100 different clothing items and hundreds of different colors. You can build more than houses though, so you can have the ability to build cafes, parks, and then basically watch people use them and kind of utilize them, which I think is a really nice touch, and it adds to the aesthetic of like a nice cozy game. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed those Sims versions. What are you looking forward to? Out of all of them, for me, Inzoi is the most eye-catching, but it's the largest scope one. I feel like Paralives and Life by You is going to be a bit more up our streets, but Life by You has got no release date, so it's all a bit up in there. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I cover a bunch of different games over here, so by all means stick around, check out other videos I've done, but that's enough from me. Hope you all have a lovely day, and until the next video, I'll see you later.